my grandfather taught me many things. At the top of the list was if two people get into a fight and nobody wins, who wins?
The little guy!
The little guy! Anderson Silva, Daniel Cormier, UFC 200. John Jones gets pulled from the card. No fight for Daniel Cormier. Everyone's stressing out. Anderson Silva volunteers himself. I was actually at Anderson's Muay Thai Center in Torrance. His academy is there with my friend Mike Safai. And Mike was like, it was like literally Friday morning, the day before the UFC 200. Mike was like, Henner, did you hear? I'm like, what? He was like, Jones is out. Anderson's fighting Cormier. Right before they announced it publicly, all over the news there. Anderson's fighting Daniel Cormier tomorrow night. Now, they said it during the breakdown of the video, during the actual analysis, but Anderson came off of 2 months not training at all. 6 weeks post gallbladder surgery in Brazil, and 48-hour notice. He didn't put gloves on, he didn't put anything training, he didn't spar once for this fight. Shows up, gets in there, and does what he does. Now, Daniel Cormier won the fight and did so in a very efficient manner, and he did what he had to do to win. But like Hito said, Daniel Cormier won the fight, Anderson won the night. It was a spectacular display of punch protection and distance management that only Anderson knows how to do as well as he does. We've broken down other fights of his in the past, and we repeatedly have talked about Anderson's unique ability to manage distance and manage damage in the fight underneath much heavier, aggressive, strong opponents who are trying to punch his face in. And he did so from the lockdown position from the half guard. So from here, if Frank is down, half guard, the lockdown, as you saw how Anderson did it, because Daniel took him down pretty much at will, got on top of the fight, controlling the situation. And the lockdown, watch, he's gonna take his outside leg, hook to the inside, pull it open, put his other ankle under my ankle, hook his own ankle, and stretch both legs together. Now you notice how when he did that, how when Frank stretched his legs out here, as he straightened it, go ahead, my hips drop. So the lockdown doesn't just give you control of a leg, it gives you so much control of a leg that you actually control the hips, which makes it comparable to cross your legs, to this, where your legs are trapping their hips. So Anderson understands that connection and literally did from half guard lockdown position, go ahead, he did from lockdown things that are traditionally only done from stage 1 of the punch block series in closed guard. So here, what did you notice? He had head control, he had arm control. If he pulled his arm out, he would come inside and block beautifully. If he sat up, he would come up, he would leg block. He had perfect. And it's almost like Anderson always knew where Daniel was gonna be. Look at this. When Daniel swims in, go back. When Daniel swims in, Anderson hugs the arm. And now Daniel has 2 options. Push, in which he'll swim, or pull, in which he blocks. Boom, and he wraps it up. So just the most spectacular display of just the ability to be safe from here and totally shut down Daniel Cormier's ground and pound, which has devastated other opponents. But you have to remember that with Anderson Silva, we're dealing with one of the best of all time, if not the best on many people's lists. So it's not often that we see people changing weight classes, going up a weight class, and it's very rare to go up a weight class against the current champion of that weight class.
6 weeks after he had surgery.
Dude! On 48 hours notice, no training. So we couldn't have been more excited to see what was gonna happen. And what's wild is that people are looking at this like, man, what's crazy? And you know, there are ways to escape this half guard position. And we felt that since we're gonna talk about it, and it looked like it was there for so many minutes of the 15-minute fight, that, go ahead, the 3 ways that we use from here, pay attention, we're gonna do them 1 time each. Lock down, please. 3 ways. Number 1, if he has the lockdown stretched out, what I wanna do is drop my hips on his hips so that my knees are floating. Look, you see, because the lockdown is a lifting half guard control, not a dropping one. So as he's here, I'm right knee. Look, I swing the leg out, and then I swing it in. I take my foot, I hook his inner knee. Hold the lockdown tighter, Frank. Now look how easy. My leg comes off, I tripod, and I slice my knee, melt the hips, and kick out of it. So, float that leg in the inside thigh hook, tripod pass, once you step off the lockdown. Number 2, he's there, holding it right here. Check it out. Number 2 is, what we want to do is affect the integrity of his ability to hook my ankle from beneath. So what I do is I drop my hips on him, I take this leg, I lift his one up, I put my ankle under, and I hook his ankles with my ankle. keep it tighter, and then I feel, and I step off, and I switch. And now I triangle my legs, try to lock it down again. He can't, not locking him. Can't lock, my hands are here, I'm ready. As he tries to get it back, when he tries to put me in the guard or do anything, I'm going to tripod, and my knee comes right out, head down, melt, and pass. And number 3, lock it up. Lock down, stretch. Number 3, if none of those are working, we want both hands inside of his biceps. From here, I'm going to go from chest to chest to chest to abdomen. Both hands come under, lock hands beneath his hips. Just grab your own hand and pinch his thighs together here. 1, keep it tight, Frank. Now look, straighten the leg, roll, roll, roll. And we're under his legs. Boom. And what happens is there, I lock your hips, and because my legs got so further south, you can't accommodate it, it just pops. So each of these passes is effective in its own way and has its weaknesses, naturally, as every move in jiu-jitsu. But there are ways to pass this half guard. I'm sure Daniel knows most, if not all of these ways, but doing them in here on a calm blue mat is different than doing it under the bright lights on the gold mat for UFC 200.
That may or may not have been his intent, right?
Yeah, good point. A lot of times in half guard, in an MMA match, they don't want to pass. And the reason is simple. Lay down, please. When you have half guard, the idea is, if I'm on side control, let's just say, that's a great point, Frank. If I'm on side control, your ability to turn your side slow, just turn, and even start to go to your knees and get up. Freeze, go back. That ability is contingent on your legs being able to switch. Go back. But if there is something, a pull between your legs, you can't switch your scissor. If you can't flip your hips, you can't pronate your shoulders. If you can't pronate your shoulders, you can't build the house. So a lot of guys, especially wrestlers, prefer to stay in half guard to prevent you from getting up versus side control or even mount. Great factor. But I know the audience is still wondering, how do we pass that? You know, because they're like, man, he's just locked there the whole fight. You're right, that Daniel may very well have not tried to get out. It's amazing, you guys. What makes Anderson Silva spectacular is his kickboxing, his Muay Thai, his experience, and the knockouts he's had over his career are just unbelievable, unmatched. But what makes him a survival wizard and what allowed for his most, I guess, unexpected victories and crazy victories. Chael Sonnen won. 25-minute fight, and he triangles him in the last 30 seconds. Right? That's a jiu-jitsu victory by an amazing Muay Thai fighter. Chael Sonnen 2, he got taken down, bottom of the mount, had the best hand fighting from bottom of the mount, no damage. Got up, kneed him in the chest, face, controversial knee, knocked him out. Won again. And now Daniel Cormier gives up a weight class and a title beneath him, manages all distance, manages all damage. So it's the jiu-jitsu that we're so blown away with by this Muay Thai wizard and his application of these amazing ground techniques. There it is, you guys. Anderson Silva did it on the highest level, 48 hours notice, truly remarkable, and we couldn't have been more proud to share this here. And it's ironic because we're just finishing right now a street defense mastery seminar here at Lynx Academy, Certified Training Center, Virginia Beach, where many of these topics of distance management were talked about because they're so often ignored in jiu-jitsu. But guys like Anderson understand, manage the distance, manage the damage, energy efficiency, natural body movements, you know, against a larger opponent. He applied them perfectly, and that's the bottom line, you guys. My friends here learned some concepts today, practiced them. Soon I'm going to be in Chicago, September 17th, super seminar talking about these concepts and many others. 4 seminars in one day at your buddy Jeff Curran's school in Chicago. 8 hours of training in a single day. If you guys want to check that out, go to gracieuniversity.com/seminars. I'll meet you in Chicago. We're going to talk about all this stuff and more. And that's the bottom line, you guys. Daniel Cormier won the fight, but Anderson Silva won the night. And if that was a street fight, he survived. He didn't go to the hospital. And my grandfather would have been so proud to see that display of survivability from beneath someone so much larger, so much stronger. And that's the bottom line. Much respect, you guys. They're already doing their job. If you're at home watching these breakdowns, which many people do, I love it. Great technique, beautiful explanations. But jiu-jitsu is not for me. Don't look at me like that. Look at them. all of them, you guys, are looking at you guys like, what's wrong with your situation? How can you be on YouTube 8 hours a night, like just Google Gracie breakdowns from like 7 years ago, fascinating details, taking notes, writing this, creating documents and spreadsheets of all the connections of jiu-jitsu, but yet you haven't stepped on the mat. Let me say, you haven't rolled on the mat. Make it happen, you guys. They're already doing it. The world is learning. Find a certified training center. If not in Virginia Beach, if not in Norfolk, if not anywhere in Williamsburg, here in Virginia, there are CTCs over 100 all over the world. Find it, make it happen. GracieUniversity.com, they're all there. Thanks for joining us. We're out.
Yeah.